CockFM Radio. It's all about you.
A very lovely morning to you out there. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Headliners on CockFM Radio. And in a moment, we're going to be reviewing some of the major stories on the cover of our national dailies today. And today we start off with the Daily Sun. The cover story for Daily Sun today, Thursday, April 20, 2023 says, 10th National Assembly leadership plots to undermine rules on ranking thickens. APC elements secretly working to allow first-timers vie for Senate President and Deputy. Attempt will fail, says Ndume. Oshomole joins race, commences discreet campaign. Also on the Daily Sun, new twist in APC crisis. Northwest Vice Chairman Lukman issues ultimatum to Adamu to summon NWC on Omishore. Now let's look at the Nigerian Tribune. Today, $2.4 billion crude oil probe. Reps summon finance minister. And the AGF overpayment of $200 million consultancy fees. Ask CBN to provide details of payments to beneficiaries' accounts. That story is on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune today. Also on Nigerian Tribune, Abuja collapsed wall claimed 2 lives, 4 rescued, says FEMA. Dismissed Delta Killer Cop arraigned and remanded in prison. Idel Fitri, federal government declares Friday, Monday, public holiday. Fire Gods Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State Studio. And Adamawa why Buhari did not interfere in poll debacle. That's the federal government. We're moving on now to Daily Trust newspaper. High fertilizer prices threaten wet season farming. 50 kilogram cost 30,000 naira or more. High cost may cause fourth inflation. Federal government states must act now, says stakeholders. That story is on page 4 and is the cover story on today's edition of Daily Trust newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, today's edition, has an interesting cover story. It says, 40 days to go. FEC approves over 100 billion naira contracts. That story is the major story, like I said, on the Guardian newspaper. And that story is on page 6 of the Guardian. Also on the Guardian, crack widens in APC over alleged misuse of 30 billion naira zoning concerns. 20 years on, family relieves memories of Adefe Akinola Akindeko. Excess crude accounts down to $474,754, says FAAC. Now let's look at the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu Fintiri seek police inquest into Adamawa polls as Fintiri seeks prosecution of criminality behind drama. Apologizes for attack on national commissioners. Why Buhari didn't intervene in debacle. That's the federal government. Says president didn't use security against opposition during polls. NSCDC boss summoned state commandants. And Fitiri others get certificate of return. And the picture of Fitiri's certificate presentation is on the cover of today's Vanguard newspaper. Eid al-Fitr, federal government declares Friday, Monday public holidays, while 3,298 inmates are on death row in Nigeria. That's according to the prison service. Eid al-Fitr, Sultan of Sokoto urges Muslims to watch for new moon, and due judicial process will be followed on Ararume and NNPCL matter. That's according to Buhari. And now let's look at the Punch newspaper. Today, the cover story on the Punch newspaper says insecurity, local rice price jumps by 200%. Rice price soars from 173 naira per kilogram to 521 naira per kg under Buhari despite government attention. That's according to an MBS report. Rice farmers, producers, experts blame rising inflation, insecurity, others for rice wars. This story is on page 19 of the Punch newspaper today. Now let's look at other interesting stories on the Punch. Again, El Rufai raises the alarm over insecurity ahead May 29. Ogunfather chains stabs 2 children to death. Substandard materials quacks cost Banana Island building collapse. Buhari returns, avoid Sudan airspace. Adamawa poll, police warned against cover-up. FAAC allocation drops as federal government states share 715 billion naira. All of these stories you'll find on today's edition of the Punch newspaper. And now that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition of the Headliners on CockFM Radio. For more updates, visit our social media platforms via Facebook on CockFM Radio Live, CockFM Radio Live again on Instagram, CockFM Radio Live on Twitter, and CockFM Radio Live on YouTube. I remain your host, Olufemi Peters. Enjoy the rest of your day.
CockFM Radio. It's all about you.